everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Wicked Glitches podcast. It is Halloween! Happy Halloween, everyone!
Woo!
This is
Spooky.
our 5th episode, and our most special episode, because we both love Halloween, and Isola is a Halloween baby. Not literally, but
Yeah,
her month, her birth
it,
month.
close enough, you know.
Yeah. So, how was your week? Do your weekly check-in. It was your birthday weekend. Let's talk. What did you do?
I mean, I really didn't do much.
You
Really
did.
nothing.
I mean, you did something this weekend.
No, not really. I mean, sorry, I'm
The
gonna have to
boo
do this. You
came.
guys are gonna laugh at me the whole
You're
time,
gonna
but
DJ set the whole time. The boo
I did
came,
the
didn't
what?
he? I said you're gonna DJ set the whole time.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Wiki
Anyway,
wiki. but the boo came, right?
yeah, but we were both sick. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
That's
Well,
so
he got
sad.
back from Portugal, and anytime travel,
Oh yeah.
the sickies. We were gonna go to dinner, but I was like, you know what? We'll just wait till next week because he's back down. So
Yeah, that's
right now
fine.
he's up in LA doing some trainings and stuff.
Mm,
So pretending to pick up really heavy rocks, but they're just porous.
they're fake
They
rocks.
probably weigh like 2 pounds.
Liars
I mean, they're
rocks.
technically real rocks, but the type of rock is so porous that
Is it like
I don't
pumice?
know. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
They literally weigh nothing. Um, it's really funny. But yeah, it's pumice and they're at a site. So I don't know if they're tearing down stuff, whatever they're doing, and they're like, "Oh, let's look like we're super strong people and pick up rocks and,
That sounds like
you
men.
know,
Yeah, that
Hulk
sounds like
smash."
men.
I mean, there's a few women doing it too. I was like, "All right, good on you." I mean, I'd probably do it as well and then CG myself green and do some type of She-Hulk thing, but
There you go.
you know. Yeah. So that was it. Just had a lot of work stuff going on. I'm trying to teach myself new things, so I'm trying to learn
Oh, that's
coding
good.
and yeah,
Educate.
it's annoying because I don't get paid to do
Mm,
it. I mean, I want to learn anything, eventually do like Python and stuff like that, but
okay.
it's yeah, so a little bit of a shoulder issue just because I have a pinched nerve. But other than that, like I said, everything's good. Just chill. And also, when it comes to birthdays, I don't feel like you have to celebrate on the day.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's kind of silly. It's like, oh, you only get one day to celebrate yourself. Nah, fuck that. I'm celebrating myself all day, every day.
Right?
I
Treat
mean, maybe not.
yourself.
It could get too expensive. Yes. But when I want to treat myself, I'll treat myself. And that's like a birthday gift, right?
Exactly. So, it-
Yeah.
listen, as
How about
long
you?
as you took care of yourself, we're good. I'm.
Well, I'm
Uh,
not dead.
right?
I mean,
That's my
on the
answer. I
outside.
am also not
Phys-
dead, technically.
Yeah, physically, I am not dead.
Give it time.
So maybe a little dead on the inside, but you
Emotionally,
know,
mentally. Yeah.
that gives character.
Yeah, exactly. It's what makes everyone laugh. When they're always like, you're funny, it's like, because I'm dead inside and I'm
Yeah.
coping.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
My week, Trav was home. We had to get some stuff done. We did get things done. I had a doctor's appointment. I had to have blood tests, and I'm gonna have an at-home sleep test and some other stuff going on. They're looking for things. They're looking for things. I'm not gonna get too much into it because I don't know what's going on. I don't have results yet, so I mean, there's no point going down a rabbit hole on it. Um,
Well, you also don't want to internet diagnose yourself, so
yeah. So they asked me questions for a good like hour, and I I'm, I don't want to say I'm like hopeful. Like what's going on? The situation I'm in, it's a lose lose. Like either I'm gonna have answers, and the answers aren't gonna be necessarily something good, or we're not gonna have answers, and we'll have to do more testing, which is never good anyways. So like it's very
right.
much like I'm not exactly thrilled. And then today, unfortunately, one of my chickens got sick. She has sauerkraut. I'm hoping she's going to be okay. I had to.
Oh no, the poor baby.
it was so far along that her whole so chickens have a crop, which is where their food goes
Uh-huh.
before it gets to their stomach. It's in stages, for those who don't know, and that if it gets stuck or blocked up, it starts to obviously ferment and have issues, and it's called sour crop. And so I had to clear that for her, and it's kind of dangerous because one, chickens can't vomit, so that's why you have to clear it. And two, while clearing that, they can aspirate. They can get fluid into their lungs. Not good, very bad. So it's scary having to do stuff like that. But I've raised my most of my chickens from babies, so they're very cooperative. They let me hold them. They let me pick them up. They don't freak out and scream. So she was very cooperative and sweet. She was already feeling pretty lethargic, but I picked her up and I had to tip her forward and hold her almost upside down while massaging her stomach, well, her crop, until she would just like spew like a teapot, which is why I was calling her my stinky little teapot.
Yeah.
I
Aw.
got her emptied out. She's in my bathroom in a crate right now, resting. I'm hoping she's not going to refill. I might have to take her to the vet and get some medication for her, but we're going to take it day by day. But yeah, it's like I'm sick. Of course, one of the animals has to get sick because they can't be
Yeah.
outdone. So it's just been like, oh boy, stress.
Oh
Yay.
yeah, it's so much fun. I mean, it's great. Well, I had forgotten to tell you that the week before we actually was it the day of recording? No, it was the day before. I had to go to the dentist for a cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
and m many do not know this. You obviously know.
I know things.
Massive anxiety going to the dentist.
Same.
And but I found a really good dentist that actually doesn't make me feel like I need right now to spend the $150 on the nitrous gas, which he
Oh,
does
yeah.
have. Yeah.
Been there, done
Which
that.
I may just for shits and giggles take him up on the offer. But I have to
Thanks.
before the end of the year. Hey, look, $150 to just laugh the whole fucking time. And the last time I did it, it was during an emergency root canal, and
Oh,
the dentist kept laughing at me because I was
always nice.
being super snarky and cracking jokes, all the while my mouth is pried open so that they can try to get into my mouth. And then they have the suction going as well.
All right.
And he goes, "Okay, you need to stop talking now." I'm like, "Well, then stop talking to me. Stop saying things that make
Stop
me
asking
have to
questions.
respond to you. Just do it and we're good." And he just thought it was the funniest thing because apparently I don't know. I mean, people find me funny. I don't know
It's true.
why.
It's true. Same. We're
I
in the same
really I
boat.
really don't. Yeah, so I have to set up to get a new crown because apparently, just an FYI, if you don't know this, they're like a boob job. You got to
Yeah, you
get
got to
them
replace
replaced
them.
every 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never told me that, like when I got them, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, thanks, y'all. You suck.
All the ones that I
So,
had, they had to replace a couple years ago. They're like, oh, these are, these have been in for this amount of time. We got to replace them. And I'm like tires? Like,
yeah, apparently, I mean, at least they last longer than tires, but the good news is that they have a plan
that's good.
and it's really not terribly, it's not cheap,
It
but
never is.
so yeah, y'all need to subscribe so we can monetize this shit so that we can start making pennies on the hour, because they don't pay you shit.
Time
So
to start
just an
streaming
FYI.
too. Get that ad revenue.
I
I
know,
got to go
I
back to
know. I'm gonna have
streaming.
to, I
We'll
gotta
have to
go back
joint
to
stream.
streaming. Who knows? Maybe at some point, if this blows up, we'll do a Patreon and then we can do like live shit and people can, check in with that and get little extra benefits and stuff like that, get to know us a little better. So yeah, so that's coming up. So obviously I have anxiety about that, but
Naturally. Of
you and
course.
you definitely have more doctor's visits than I do. I just got a dermatology appointment to make sure I don't have any melanoma because my grandfather had melanoma. My mom's always in the sun. I don't know if there's a genetic situation.
Listen, people,
We both
get
had
tested.
cancerous.
This is an
Yes.
entire PSA saying go to the dentist, go to the doctor, get your fucking shit done. Don't
Yep.
put it off. And listen, I get it's stressful. Who has the time? Who has the money? You know what? Do it now, because if you don't, down the line, it's got to be 10 times more money, or you're gonna die. And that sounds awful and morbid. I'm dressed as a skeleton. I don't care.
No.
It's
Yeah,
facts. It's
it's you're
fucking facts.
absolutely correct. You are absolutely
I've
correct.
lost multiple, not just like animals, family members recently in the last few years,
Yeah.
because we didn't know, because they didn't go to the doctors, or like they were going to the doctors but they weren't complaining about issues they were having, so the doctors didn't know to look for things, and then it was too late. So just a PSA, get your shit dealt with.
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing. Happy birthday to me found out that um one of the Boo's family members, the husband of one of his cousins, has stage 4 lung cancer, and they found lesions on his brain. He was going through chemo during the summer. Nobody told us.
Oh, sneaky
How do you
chemo.
not? Yeah, yeah.
Could you
So,
imagine? My gosh,
well,
that's
no, we didn't
insane.
even know he had cancer. And I was like, what? You guys need to like, I
I mean,
understand you guys don't talk that frequently, but when major situations come up like this, you kind of have to
some people don't
let us
want
know.
to make it about
Yeah,
that though. They want to try and like deal with
no.
it first, and it's like I get it, but
But
like yeah,
he's, but it's 2 months checkup and he has to have surgery.
mm,
So now I'm like, okay, I get why maybe they didn't at first. They were kind of
yeah.
hopeful that, the chemo worked and
Hmm.
radiation, stuff like that. And ugh, well, it's also, I think it's gone to the bone as well. So, yeah, I know, I know. But this is one of those things where you're like, you need to have a good doctor. His doctor, his specialist is like, we're going to do this, we're going to try gene
Yeah,
therapy, we're going to blah blah blah, like just
I
everything. And then I get this thing that was sent to me and they're like, "Hey, donate." And it was for meal train. I'm like, "No, can I like physically give you money?" Like I understand maybe you don't want to cook and you want to get some sushi, but can I like just give you the money so that,
yeah.
if you need to stock up, because you do look, I'm not saying that you can't survive, but when it gets to 4, you kind of have to,
Listen, I get it. I
yeah,
two family members in the last few years, or
yeah.
three in the last like 3 years. So like
Yeah, and we've had a bunch too. So, I mean, between
I'm
you and
gonna
I mean, we are just shrouded in death. Like, I don't,
everybody's dying. All my friends
I
are
know.
dead. Yeah, it's just that's where we're
Yeah,
at. Sorry, sad times. It actually
I
all of
know,
this
but
does tie in a little bit with what we're gonna be talking about, which is
yeah, it's
Halloween.
Halloween. It's death.
I don't want to like cut you off, but I don't want to like go down a death spiral
The
too
rabbit hole.
prematurely.
No, 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 no. We're
Um,
good. Go.
but
Do it.
no, I wasn't gonna hop on that just yet. I was gonna say, I'm excited. We're in the season. We're in the thick of it, and games are starting to do their Halloween seasons.
Into the thick of it. Sorry, I couldn't help
Borderlands just
myself.
started theirs. I'm gonna be honest, little disappointed in it. It's not
Oh
bad,
no.
but it's not as good
What?
as threes.
Mm.
Remember threes with that sick song, and
Oh God.
you
Can
fight
we
the skeleton
download that
guy.
song, by the way?
It's on
I did
Spotify.
not. Okay, I'm gonna go download it because I forgot
It's
about it and
it's
I was
so
just like, no,
good.
I love that song.
It's so
It's just
good.
so good. Like you just want to, can we, are we okay with playing 10 seconds of it? Well, look, we're not monetized yet anyway, and I already got some type of copyright for using the song that we use in our intro, but it says they
Really?
allow people to use it on YouTube, but it's still they still mark it as copyright.
That's
So,
insane.
yeah, so we'll
Which
have
is
to
it?
find
Pick one.
something else. We
That's
know enough
fine.
people in the industry where I could probably ask them to do something for us, but I was like, I just kind of like that. It almost
Yeah.
gives like an 80s Depeche Mode vibe, kind of like, chill trance music in the beginning, and I was like, I kind of like this, but if it's gonna continuously be copywritten, fuck it.
Yeah, that's
Toodles, I'll
not
find
worth
something
it.
else.
Um, I thought maybe I
But
had the
yes, I
song
want to
on here,
play. I
but
want to play the games.
I am, like I said, I'm slightly disappointed because it's not as good as the one in 3. In Borderlands 3, the Halloween event, which you can still play year round. They have it as a thing that you can actually like turn it on as like a mode. So you know how,
Mm-hmm.
for those who haven't played, in Borderlands 3 during Halloween there would be skeleton heads that you would have to shoot, and you'd get like certain colored ones and a certain amount of them, and then you could go to the heck hole. Sorry, I had a hair.
I love the heck hole. It's
And
such a great name.
you go to the heck hole, and then you had to, there was a couple little puzzle things, and you'd fight your way there, and then you'd get to the big boss, and then this like really good like kind of techno house music, but like not like, I don't know, it wasn't annoying, it was really fun. It was a really good song, and honestly we would draw out the fight just to like fight to the song. It was like so cool, it was great. And then
Yeah.
the skins
Yeah.
then also were really good. I don't know if you remember the skins, but they had, it was for the clothes and the guns as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it had let's say like black with like kind of like a tealy green, almost somewhere between teal and neon green ghosts that would move up on the clothes
Yeah.
or the gun. And they also had an orange version, I think, the following year.
Mm-hmm.
This year they have a pumpkin head that you can wear that I do like. It matches whatever you change your colors to your skin. It matches. So right now mine I
Oh,
think is
okay.
like purple or something. But it's got a jack-o'-lantern head. That one's great. Love that. The skin for the gun, I'm not a fan of. It's just, it doesn't scream Halloween to me. It's kind of like orange, teal, and pink, I think, if I remember correctly. And
Mm,
I'm like, that's just not giving me Halloween, especially when you had that really cool ghost skin on the other guns in the last game. Why wouldn't you carry that over? It was so cool.
yeah,
Um,
you've already coded it, so it's not like
right?
you have to like it's easy just to copy the code, but
Yeah.
who knows?
And then there's I guess a new gun and a new grenade that only drop during so in Borderlands 4 they have world event bosses that will just pop up randomly in certain
Yeah.
locations. And you'll see like a bubble dome, and that's how you know like, oh, that's a world event. It'll show up on the map too, like it'll give you a little exclamation point icon, and it'll say rift boss or something like that. When you get close to those and in them, the sky turns kind of orangey yellow, and then it starts to like rain blood. That's
Ooh.
like the like spooky Halloween effect. And then hopefully when you kill one of those guys, they will drop one of the legendary exclusive Halloween items, the gun or the grenade. I thought it was two guns, but maybe it's just one. Um, but I'm just kind of disappointed because I love Halloween events in video games, and I loved what they did in 3, and 4 just falls a little bit short for me. The skin on the gun is just bleh. I was hoping for
Yeah.
a skin for the clothing and not just, I love the head, don't get me wrong, but like I think it would have been better if they also did that ghost skin from 3. So I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that they're just are they going to drop more? Are we going to yeah, I don't know.
Maybe next
I don't
year.
know.
I know they've got big
Yeah.
plans. They're adding the next character in I believe around December or January, Cash.
Yeah.
And there's going to be DLC story mission stuff. So I don't know. All that to say, I mean, I was excited because Halloween, and I've been doing Fallout. Fallout's been having some Halloween stuff. They did last week was Mischief Night, and that was really fun. Where every hour on the hour they had a little like event where you would go and like basically just be a little shit and cause mischief, and then you could earn plans. And I got some really cute plans. I have some for you for whenever you do play. There's a plushy bat backpack and its wings move, and there's a scorpion plushie backpack and his little pinchers move, and then there's just regular plushies of those that you can just set in your camp. Like, they're so cute, they're so cute.
I love it.
So that's been great. And then right now they have a Scorched, it's legendary Halloween event, and I love it because the Scorched, which are like, they kind of look like the ghoul, but like they're burnt.
Right.
They are running around in Halloween costumes when you run across like a legendary one. So like it'll be like a clown, or there's one where he looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon, or a witch. And when they show up, you hear them before you see them because they make that amazing, which I've been talking about it recently, and I didn't know they were going to do this. They make this 90s sound. Remember the ghouls? They make that sound so you hear it and you're like,
Oh
oh,
my
there's one. I gotta
God.
find it. And so every time one pops up, you hear it and it's just like nostalgia slapping you in the
Oh my God,
ears.
I love
It's
that so
so
much.
good.
That's great.
So that's what I've been doing. And then I know Monster Hunter also is supposed to be having a Halloween event, so I'm going to have to hit that up. Marvel Rivals has some Halloween stuff coming out. There's a little Pumpkin Jeff.
Oh my God.
It's Pumpkin
I
Jeff.
fucking love Jeff.
He's the
God, he's so
best. I mean, almost
cute.
every game does like a Halloween event of some
Yeah.
sort. I know Gears of War back in the day used to do it. I don't think Halo ever really did.
I don't remember Halo doing it, but
I could be
I
wrong.
I don't.
I just know back in the
No,
days
I
of
mean we
like
could, yeah.
I think back in the days, like when I was playing heavily, like Halo 3, Reach, things like that, I don't think there was.
Yeah.
So, but
They could have done it after Reach, but I
it's
don't
possible.
remember going and looking for that
Mm,
after Reach because I really didn't. I still got the games, but
yeah.
I didn't really dive heavily into them because it was one of those things, when when the hands change from the studio and then
Yeah.
I mean, look, we could get into a whole thing about that. We're not
That,
going to do that today,
that's
but
a whole nother thing.
yeah. Yeah.
Facts, though.
We know that they did a fuckaroo
They did. They really did.
on that.
Well, and then they fucked up.
And then of course,
Everything's been fucked up. Let's fucking be honest. We could go down that rabbit hole. I mean, technically, I don't think we're
well, we
gonna
still need
take.
to talk about Mass Effect and stuff
We're
like that
not.
too. So,
I don't think the history of Halloween and all the stuff we're talking about is going to take 40 minutes. So if you want, we'll do the history of Halloween and we'll circle back to how the industry has fucked up every game ever at some point
I
or
feel
another.
like that should be its own
Should
episode though,
it?
because I think so because you look, I only gave 15 seconds about how fucking stupid it was that Netflix had the Halo TV show showing as what, number 3 or 4? And I literally just posted a 15-second video that
Listen,
said, the fuck? So,
that's
but
because
I
people were
wanted,
hate watching. Let's be honest. They weren't watching because
yeah,
they're like, this is a great show. They're watching because they were like, oh, well, now it's available on Netflix, so I'm going to hate watch this and judge the fuck out of it. And that's why it got
yeah.
number 3. Because there's no, but I
Well,
refuse. No one's enjoying that. And if you are, you haven't played Halo and you know nothing about the fucking
that's it.
universe.
That's it.
I'm so
That's it.
mad. Clip this.
Yeah, I
Clip
told
this
you.
and share
Okay,
it.
that's it. Okay, we gotta move on because
Okay, okay.
we're gonna take up this whole fucking episode talking about how they
Us raging
fucked us in the yeah. Anyway,
in the ear.
okay, yeah, in the ear hole.
All
There you
right, all
go.
right. We're gonna go on. We're gonna talk about Halo. We'll fill in. We do have some updates on some of those murder cases that we will get to at the end because I didn't. There was a little mini tiny update on one of them, and there's been some. They're not big updates, but they are updates. So we'll get there.
Yeah.
But let's hop into the origin of Halloween. I think this is really important to share on the holiday, especially because there is and has been for years and years and years a lot of controversy around Halloween. And I don't mean that in the sense like widespread, but there are people who find it to be a satanic holiday, right? I mean, it's the devil dressing up and worshiping Satan. Ooh. Um, bullshit, calling it. So let's get into its origins come from Samhain, which is a Scottish Irish festival that was done to celebrate the end of harvest. So they would celebrate traditionally with bonfires and sorry, I heard my dog. I was like, what the fuck was
I was
that?
like, what the hell was that? I even heard something.
That was Freya. Um,
Hey, she had something to say about it.
she has
So,
feelings. She has big
yeah.
feelings. So, There was also the origin of things like bobbing for apples. That was because it was the harvest of the apples and things of that nature. So all of that started with Samhain. Now, the Christian church, being what it was in its early days, was
Just kidding.
trying was
Sorry.
trying to convert people. And of course, these are people who had long established beliefs. And they were like, why am I just going to suddenly drop my religion for your new religion, right? Like, no.
Yeah, and yours is stupid. It's not even fun.
It's not even fun. You don't even have bonfires. Oh.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, what if we incorporate some of your stuff into and rename it? Because they were like, Samhain, no, that's not for us. So it started because there was All Saints Day, which the day before All Saints Day was All Hallows Eve, so October 31st. All Saints Day being November 1st. Um, it's a celebration to honor Christian saints. And Halloween became a contraction of All Hallows Eve, obviously. So basically, they wanted to provide a more solemn alternative to the Celtic Harvest Festival, which is why they were like, let's just mix this with All Saints Day, and it'll be like more respectable, like no pagan wildness. Um, Eventually, they kind of combined and made the two holidays of All Saints Day and All Hallows Eve into one and making it Halloween. So it started as a with the Christians, they started it as a holy vigil. So this origin of it being this satanic event is bullshit because it started as a solemn holy vigil to celebrate Christian saints. So that's just debunked right there. There's rumors or speculation from some practicers of pagan rituals and things of that they have cited. There's references that there was a Christian holiday that was in the spring that they actually moved to coincide with Samhain. That's not 100% confirmed, but what is confirmed is All Saints Day did exist on November 1st, and that they wanted to try and like merge Samhain and that. So it was designated by Pope Gregory. I heard the third or the fourth. I mean, there's so many popes.
Hmm.
That on November 1st, this is dating back to the 8th century, by the way. The Christian holiday was moved allegedly from spring, according to some people, to coincide with Samhain, but it definitely is from the 8th century, and it was designated by a pope. So again, saying it's a satanic ritual, nonsense, absolute nonsense. To make the new Christian celebration more inclusive, the church included and reinterpreted some of Samhain's traditions, including bonfires, costumes, but they changed the original meaning. Not so surprising. It was a festival to celebrate the end of fall, beginning of winter, where the Irish would light bonfires wearing costumes and carve lamps out of turnips to ward off evil spirits, since it was believed at the time in which the gates to the underworld would have opened to the dead and spirits and monsters would escape. So they would use the jack-o'-lanterns to kind of frighten them off. Same thing with the costumes, as I'm sure you will get into in detail. The Irish brought the tradition of the costumes, jack-o'-lanterns, and trick-or-treating to North America by Irish Catholics around the time of the potato famine. That's how it made its way over to here, and then obviously over time became more commercialized. So going back to the origin of some of the things like apple bobbing and all that, medieval Britain had a harvest season starting in August, when grain would be harvested, ending November 1st, with the apple harvest, which is how the apple bobbing became associated with Halloween. So just it coincided.
Mm-hmm.
Harvest festival. As far as trick or treating, people began believing more and more in purgatory in that time, and it's where souls went. According to them, it's where souls went to be cleansed before going to heaven. Whereas I think our modern interpretation is more of you just stay there forever. So they would pray and ask for prayers for the dead so that it would kind of expedite their trip to heaven. This was also a time in which, since we were getting closer to winter, we would need to store up foods to make our way through winter, because otherwise, you starve to death. Not normal, but sad. Common, I should say.
It
So
was common, yes.
those who were on the lower end of, if they didn't have enough crops, if they didn't have cattle, if they didn't have things that would get them through the winter, they would go to their neighbors and ask, hey, we're not able to make it through the winter. Can you give us any provisions? Can you give us stuff to help us get through? That also started to be intertwined with the prayers for those in purgatory. They became intertwined, and it was now those people asking for food would go out in costume during the fall, and they would go to their neighbors and ask for those tithes of to get them through, and they would say, listen, if you give us supplies to get through winter, we will pray for your dead loved ones so that they get to heaven faster. And that's where trick or treat started to come into play. We will pray for you, or your people, and then you give us treats. um
Well, and
Obviously
it's
that
funny that you
modernized.
bring that up, which I knew you were going to bring it up, but that's literally what the soul cakes were for. So
Okay.
remember how I mentioned soul cakes to you?
Yes.
So they were basically given in exchange for the prayers, but then there was souling, and that was the name for the going, like you
Oh
said, trick or
yeah,
treating.
I have it as it was
So
souling and guising.
yes, guising was in there as well. Yeah, so
Yes.
it's pretty interesting, but I just
Yeah.
love the fact that people would make soul cakes
I
and
wonder. We
give
should see.
those in exchange for prayer and song. And I was like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
look up a recipe for a soul cake
Yeah, that's
now.
what I'm gonna say. We should make soul cakes. That would be so like I want to do that for Halloween. I think that would be a really fun thing to do is do soul cakes. So if we
Yeah,
can
and they're
find a traditional
super
recipe,
cute too.
I bet. And obviously they would take their turnip lamps with them to
I
guide the
love turnip
way.
lamp.
During Queen Elizabeth's reign, Protestant Christianity was firmly established, and the belief in purgatory was condemned. And attempts were made to stop Halloween practices since they were seen as Roman Catholic. They still were maintained in Ireland and some areas of Britain. Now, I'm going to be finishing up my little section here with the origin of jack-o'-lanterns, which I knew about turnips. I am hoping that you will be able to put in a nice little somewhere. Put
Oh
a
yes,
turnip
I
somewhere.
will be putting in,
The
yes,
original
insert
turnip.
clip here
Insert turnip here. Oh, whoa.
because I like, yeah. I mean,
Sorry.
well,
No,
look,
not well. Not well. Not a turnip. Not a turnip lantern.
well, not a turnip lantern, but you never know. I mean, look,
I
again,
hope not.
no
So,
yuck in the yum.
the origin of jack-o'-lanterns start with a kind of folk tale of a stingy man named Jack, who met the devil and tricked him into promising not to take his soul when he dies. Now, entering into any kind of bargain with the devil is a tricky deal there, It's like
Hmm.
fairies, right? You gotta be real careful. Well, when Jack dies, he isn't allowed into heaven, but the devil kept his word and wouldn't allow him into hell either. The devil gave Jack a single burning coal to light his way through the darkness, and Jack put it in a hollowed out turnip, and he has wandered ever since. So people would carve out turnips into what you'll see somehow. And later on in
Magic.
America, it also became potatoes and gourds, pumpkins. But to ward off Jack and other spirits, So they would carve, Irish especially, would carve scary faces into the turnips, potatoes, beets, and eventually pumpkins to be used as lanterns. So that is the origin of the Jack O' Lantern. Someone who thought he was too smart for the devil and ended up wandering for eternity in darkness with a creepy fucking turnip lamp. You're
It
welcome.
just, it baffles me that people think that they can outwit the devil
Any sort of
or
like
fairies
strong
or any
entity with magic or
supernatural. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like why you gotta fuck with it, guys? Like
kind of like
just
genies, you have to be hyper specific
mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. Like, if I ever had the opportunity, or I'm sure you as well, I'd be like, I don't want it. I don't, whatever you're giving, I don't want it because the amount of effort to try and figure out how to word this in a way where I'm not going to get royally fucked over, it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah, I
care.
agree.
I don't want a
Yeah,
turnip
because
lamp.
it's like because even if you just said, I would like $1 billion, you don't know how you're gonna get that billion
No,
dollars.
it could be wired in, stolen from someone else, and now you've committed some sort of
Exactly,
fraud, and now
right?
you're going
And
to
then you
jail.
you go to jail. Yeah. So, yeah.
Dangerous.
So
Don't fuck with that shit.
there's a lot of ways like that you have to think about it. And, unless if you have the time stone so you can go and play different,
Scenarios.
possibilities,
But that would
you
get
know.
so exhausting. Think of how much time that would take.
Well, I mean, talk to Doctor Strange about it. That's what he did, and
Facts.
still he didn't get the same outcome. Well, I mean, he kind of did, but
So now it is on to you and our origins of costumes and yeah, we need to look up a soul cake recipe.
I already did. It's actually very, very
You'll
easy.
have to share that.
Oh, I took a screenshot, but it's literally just butter, sugar, egg yolks, flour, mixed spices, which I'm sure it will say what those are,
Yeah.
currants, and a little milk to mix it.
So currants
So
are basically
literally,
raisins, right?
um, I think currants are better than raisins.
Well,
They're
yeah,
different, they're
but
not,
like I'm saying for
but their
accessibility
flavors.
reasons,
Yeah, if you can't find currants,
you can substitute
then
raisins.
yeah. I mean, I
They're
would definitely say go
similar.
find some black currants, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean yeah, whatever you can find. But they do now have like dried currants that you can get, so you could always
Okay.
do. I think it's
Rehydrate them.
more like a cranberry. I would say it's more like a cranberry
Okay.
versus a raisin flavor
Well, plus you could
wine.
also like substitute with whatever you prefer anyways, like mess around a little bit, get creative.
Yeah, it's what I mean, if you think about it, it's like a UK Irish tradition type of thing. So currants are huge over there,
Yeah.
whereas raisins are really big. Like so I mean that was the fruit of choice. You use what you got, right? So
Hmm.
even if you want to put like apple chunks on it, you can do that because if that's your fruit of choice, then I probably wouldn't do that, but yeah. So raspberries, whatever, just pick whatever you want. Whatever does isn't going to just completely break down when you put them in the oven. But yeah, it's super easy. And when we make them, we will come back and let you guys know
It says
how it all turned
gooseberries
out.
and dried grapes are what they're similar to, which ironically, I have a gooseberry plant in the backyard. Thing did not make a single berry for me this season. Maybe
Yeah,
next
but
year.
aren't gooseberries like more like a tomato, like tastiness ish?
I've never had one, so
I
I
don't
don't
remember them
know.
being that fruity,
I
but
don't
it's been a long time.
I don't
So,
know. I just bought it because I was like, I've heard of gooseberries, but I've never had one.
yeah, I think it's supposed to be more savory than sweet, but I mean, tomatoes are fr never mind. We're getting off topic. Um,
That's us in a nutshell. Welcome to Wicked
yeah,
Glitches.
we're definitely glitching again. Um, so let's talk about costumes. Early
Let's.
Halloween costumes were unnerving and often quite creepy for several reasons. From their homemade materials to original purposes like of warding off spirits. Um, and when you look back, and I have photos, yeah, the old grainy black and white photos were especially unsettling
Oh,
because if you remember, when cameras first came out, you had to like not move. There's a grainy effect.
for
They
minutes at a
really had a lot
time.
of limitations.
Yeah, you couldn't
So
move for minutes at a time. It wasn't just a hold still
that's
for
why
30 seconds.
people, yeah, and that's why you got really great pictures when you were taking pictures of your dead family members, your children, your animals
Very common
with their eyes
practice.
propped open. We should actually talk about that shit too, because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fucking creepy.
Everything about
Um,
Victorian mourning is insane,
yeah.
down to the
But
clothes.
yeah. Unlike today's polished, like store-bought outfits, early costumes were made of really whatever materials you had in your home.
Burlap.
So that would be things like old sheets, burlap sacks, paper mache. And while it's environmentally friendly and economical,
We love.
um, it was rough and crude and to most very unsettling. So
We don't
to
love.
me, I thought it was creepy cool, but other people,
Dependent.
and maybe that's why they thought it was more of a satanic type of situation. Because, when you see these photos, which will be popping up, you will understand why. Um, So yeah, it was pretty interesting. The early masks were often simple and very exaggerated. So, they would be jack-o'-lanterns. They would usually have distorted or blank faces, very hollow eyes, which again just led to the creepiness. And it kind of felt more like spirits or dolls in disguise. So again, not typical of what you see today.
Nightmare
Insert
fuel.
photo here. But the main goal of a costume wasn't to represent a specific character, but to conceal one's identity entirely, leading to anonymous, featureless looks that, again, disturbing to the modern eye. Early costumes were inspired by the darker, more spiritual origins of Halloween. And then you know, it evolved from everything that you discussed. And yeah,
Commercialism.
yes, exactly. Many people just continued to dress as malevolent spirits, demons, ghosts, witches, and but it was also to kind of fall in with, warding off the supernatural.
Both warding off and walking among without being noticed.
Yes, which I always thought was really interesting and quite cool. Because if you looked
Yeah.
like a ghost or a
Hmm.
demon or something, then, they're just going to be like, oh, you're one of us. Cool.
Yeah, like The Walking
Not like
Dead
they
when
could
they would
smell
just,
us.
well, they would rub all the zombie guts on them and they're like, oh, look,
Yeah.
we're one of the zombies now. Same vibe, but less
Yeah,
disgusting.
exactly.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't want to put zombie guts on me.
I don't
Seriously.
either.
It's just, that's gross.
Icky.
But before it was commercialized, Halloween was more of a superstitious holiday. And again, centralized around the folklore and the supernatural. And, it was just people's way of to flirt with the macabre, They're like, ooh, let's be spooky.
Which has always been
Um,
popular in our world, our cultures. It spans all of it.
exactly. And just to give kind of a little bit of an understanding of the photographs from, I'm sure many of you have gone to like, I think what Knott's Berry Farm does it, where you can get the old timey-wimey photos and
Yeah,
dress up as,
yeah. The old Western photos, yeah.
yeah. So they kind of have that feeling.
They're
So
black
the
and white
early
instead of
20th
sepia.
century photographs would just give this extra layer of eeriness and adding to the creepy appearance, even though that wasn't really their intention. They couldn't do anything about it. That's just what they had.
It was just
But
inherently scary because
yeah, but
you
it,
had to sit still for like 5 minutes at a time, and especially when you have kids doing that, they end up all
oh
like,
yeah.
ooh.
Yeah. So you had to remain very still, like you said. And so holding a smile was difficult. So usually everybody had no movement in the face, which made them look dead, unnatural. Um,
Uncanny
and then they
Valley.
also had this thing because of the low tech photography, it didn't capture the catch lights in the eyes. So, when they say they've lost the light in their eyes, when someone dies, there's no light in their eyes, things like that. They're catch lights, right? So we all have a little bit of that twinkle when we're alive, and then it just goes away. Well, photographs back then didn't know how to capture that, hence why everybody looked dead in the photos. So when we go back and look at those, not I don't think you or I, we may go, ooh, wow, but it's very unsettling to the faint of heart. How about that? Or the over the Christians,
Those who
the
haven't ever
ones
seen them before, also, because it is very
ex
unsettling if you've never seen one
exactly.
before.
So that's kind of and they really didn't change too much from start to the early 20th century.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the 20s and the 40s where we start to see the evolution.
With the
And that's
prefabs.
where more of the boxed costumes came into play. And the boxed costumes actually lasted a fairly long time. I think they've made a comeback as well. But essentially, these are mass-produced box costumes. I think Ben Cooper was one of the big ones, and they probably lasted the longest. But you would get these popular characters from radio shows, um, early cartoons like the first Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
But then
those
you
ones are
also had your
scary.
classic, huh?
Those ones are scary. Like the OG, like Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
masks are like, ugh.
Oh yeah. Picture that. Um, and but also you still had like the classic clown costumes, princesses, things like that. So between the
Vampires.
20s and the 40s, yeah, just the very like still simplistic, but you always had the very specific those were what you got. Girls were always princesses or whatever, maybe cowboys and Indians, kind of things like that. Because again, that was a game that kids played back in the day.
Yeah,
Not very
around those
appropriate in
times.
modern times.
Not
Glad we
no.
learned about that.
We educated
Um,
ourselves.
so the photos are obviously much better. You're gonna see some progressions in these, but because everybody's pretty much wearing a mask, you're not really seeing too much of the faces and how that has progressed, but still, some of the masks are still creepy.
Oh
So we're
yeah,
just,
for sure.
but then in the 1950s, television actually takes over. And this is where we see an even bigger boom on Halloween costumes because they were basically mirroring the characters that you were seeing on the big screen. And I'm going to call it a big screen because it was big to them. Boob tubes were huge. I mean, if you've ever seen a tube in a television and they weigh a ton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
Big.
So you would have children dressing up as their favorite comic book characters, TV characters. I think Batman was one that really came into play during the 50s.
Probably Superman too.
And then because Westerns were so big,
Oh
that's where
yeah.
you really see the cowboys,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and then of course, Disney was gaining more popularity. So then we're starting to get a little bit more there.
More creepy
But
Mickey.
then we've got the 60s and the 70s, and that's kind of more of the pop culture start.
Okay.
And you're kind of moving away. I mean, there's different television shows, expanded costume inspirations and things like that. Because you got to remember, we had hippies, we had the Beatles, so people were like trying to just dress all like that as well. Um, oh, they even had Star Trek. Because remember,
Oh
Star Trek came
yeah.
out very,
Yeah, you're
very
right.
early, what, late 60s, I believe, as
Something
well,
like
early
that.
70s. Thank you, Lucille Ball, for
The Queen
getting
supporting
up
that.
that up. But you also had the Watergate scandal. So people were dressing up like Richard Nixon,
Of
running around,
course.
I'm not a crook. So,
That
and
feels
then for
similar.
women, Catwoman was a very big character
Of
because Batman
course.
series was up. So,
Because
a lot of those.
the Queen
I
played
know.
her. Our
right?
like I love her so much. I love her so
Oh God, she's amazing. There's actually a documentary. It's really
much. Is
good. I'll
there?
send it over to you.
Please do.
Um, yeah, it's super good. So then we jump in to the 1980s, and this was all about horror blockbuster films. Throw in a little bit of irony
Start
for some
we
things,
start getting
but
some slashers then. That's some
yeah,
classic
slashers.
films.
That was the meat and potatoes of the 80s.
Some
I mean, a lot
Chucky.
of good movies, yeah, came out in the 80s. So, you're getting these more gory and violent films like Halloween, Friday the 13th, blah, blah, blah. But you also had these blockbuster movies like E.T. and Star Wars. So now you've got people dressing up in little plastic masks. So Ben Cooper comes back with all of his
Yeah.
masked stuff, and you've got
More sci-fi.
Chewbacca. Huh?
More sci-fi.
Yeah.
Big switch from
E.T.
all that other
So
stuff.
a lot of those, yeah, a lot of those costumes were huge during that time. So you were really seeing a lot of things that as cosplayers, we see a lot of, like it's it's really
Constant.
funny because
But
you're like,
crude. Still crude comparative to what we have
yes.
today.
Oh, yes, as you will see in these photos. So very funny. Um, and then we jump to, so that was the 80s, now the 90s and the 2000s. And this is where we kind of get the sexy years.
Oh God, everything was like,
So,
if you've seen Mean Girls, I'm a
yes.
sexy mouse. Duh.
Exactly. So people would dress up as brand name products. So, say, for example, Tootsie Rolls, things like that, right? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Little Debbie, what are those cakes?
Ho
Nutter
ho.
Butters. I don't know.
Ding
I'm just
dong.
naming food now because I would like a treat.
You want a sweet tweet? Do you
Um,
need a soul cake?
yes, I do need a soul cake,
Oh.
actually. I would like one right now, but that's going to take too long. But yeah, so they would do a witty take on consumerism. Haha, you funny. Look at you, your big ass Tootsie Roll. And then at the same time, you had the sexy version of almost anything that became a staple of adult parties.
J-
Everything.
Literally anything and
Sexy
everything.
nurse,
Sexy
you
cop.
know, yeah, I mean, it's just
Sex,
everything. Every
sexy
sexy nun.
gynecologist.
Yeah.
Didn't
Like
matter.
you name it. No joke, when I started working at the company I work for, that was, yeah, 2000s. And someone dressed up one year as a mammogram machine,
Oh God.
and their hands were the squishers.
Of course.
Not appropriate. And that person definitely
HR.
did not continue to work there. But I thought it was a genius costume.
It
I
is
laughed
smart.
my ass off.
You know what
Apparently,
though? It's smart.
corporate didn't appreciate it.
It's smart for a frat house, not for a corporation.
Yeah, it would have been good for a party, not for work. But, Mommy, that's my phone. Thank you. Oh, stretchy girl. Oh, we just saw a paw. Um, Now we also had like costumes for like Spice Girls, The Matrix, so all of those but Spice Girls, come on. If
I
I
know,
had a crew
right?
of girls that would want to do that, we totally would have dressed up as the Spice Girls.
We could do it
But it's
now.
hard to get. I'll do it now. I have no problems with that. Let's do it.
Let's do
Let's
it
find the peeps.
now.
Let's do it.
We'll just
Let's
dress
do
up
it.
the animals as the fill them in. It's fine.
I mean, I could, but could you imagine trying to get my two cats into costumes? Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. But anyway, now we move on to 2000, well, 2010s, the teens, I don't know. Now we're getting more into social media. And you're doing throwbacks of 90s costumes, group themes, but you're also going to get things like Game of Thrones
Mm-hmm.
and, whatever else you can think of.
Everything that's
They,
become TV and
ma'am,
movies.
exact. Nobody wants to see your butthole, girl. Move it. Move it. She's eating the plant again. God damn it. All right, I'm holding your tail. And
Welcome to the
I
shit
don't
show.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like costumes kind of just were boring during that time.
I agree. And
So,
even now, I feel like it's just kind of like,
well, they're kind of recycling, right?
well, I felt
Like,
it's gotten away from like the true meaning of Halloween because it used to be something
exactly.
scary. Now it's be something sexy, be something cute, be something, you know, funny. And
Trendy
it's,
or viral.
yeah, and
And
it's
yeah,
it's like I'm not saying that's not fun because it is, but there's something really cool about seeing all the like OG like vampire, mummy, Frankenstein,
yeah,
the devil, you know, all that stuff was so cool. Like you watching like Hocus Pocus and seeing all the kids dressed up,
yeah.
or anytime you see any of those like 80s and 90s movies during Halloween in the kids in their costumes, it just like is so nostalgic to me because that's what I grew up with. um
Well, and my favorite thing is even if you're watching Practical Magic, you remember at the end of Practical Magic, they all got the broomsticks, and it's just such a cute,
yeah,
paying homage to the tradition, I guess you would say. Even though it's not really a Halloween movie, but
I mean, I consider
anything with
everything Halloween.
witches.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I had an argument, and this is very short, with Travis about how I've been watching Halloween movies, whether they're just horror movies or anything
Hmm.
Halloween themed. I watched Underworld and he said, "That's not a Halloween movie." And I said, "What the fuck do you mean?" And he goes, "It's not a Halloween movie." And I said, "It is classified as a horror action movie and it has vampires and werewolves. What fucking more do you want from a Halloween movie? What is more Halloween than vampires and werewolves and it's a horror action, but still."
Yeah, I get what your point is. I wonder if he meant more of based on like Charlie Brown, it's Halloween. What
No,
was the pumpkin?
no, because he had said
No.
dog soldiers. I'm like, that's a werewolf movie. How does that
Have you
like
watched American Werewolf in London yet? That's
he
another.
wanted to watch American London in Paris and we didn't get to do that. We watched um Double Jeopardy and Megan 2.0, which we can go over that in a bit if you want.
Okay. So oi, when Boo gets here, we're gonna watch, why the hell did I just forget the name of
Your
it?
camera looks like an
Um,
earthquake, by the way.
it's because this tiny cat who is not a fat ass is fat ass in it.
It's
Umi,
the
look at the
black
camera.
cat
Come
for
here.
Halloween, and it is
Mommy.
crossing the
There,
path.
there.
You're welcome, everyone. There's
Yes.
your bad
Yes.
luck. You've been cursed by a
I-
black cat.
I'm
Or
sorry.
blessed.
They have their own, I can't control them. Um,
Mine's on a
anyway,
couch.
so was it the Tales of Ichabod Crane?
Yes, good old Sleepy Hollow and the Headless Horseman. Also, if you're not very familiar with that story, please watch Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton. It is a fabulous rendition. Very, very moody and fantastic.
Yeah,
Not
it's
accurate though. Not like, well, I mean it's a folk tale, but not it's the most like it's his version of it. I'll put it that way.
right. I'm trying to remember if it was Disney that did it. And
Yes.
it was, I think one of them was
It
The
was
Adventures of
animated.
Ichabod and Mr. Toad. And that's the one with Sleepy Hollow. So they kind
Yes.
of talk about it's
And it was animated,
I
yeah.
I watch it every single year. So you'd
Do you
think I'd
really?
remember the name, but I don't remember the name. It's just that's our tradition, right?
That's fair.
Just like when my cousin and I were little, we would always watch the movie White Christmas with Bing Crosby, and because there was just something about it, and there was the sister song, and so we would sing it to each other because we were like sisters. And so it's just there's just these little traditions here and there, but we absolutely just love because it is a dark cartoon, especially
Oh, it's
for that time.
creepy.
And it
Yeah.
feels more traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's weird that Disney did it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just, I mean, but all like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, all
Which
like
is dark. So dark.
dark. Like
You
absolutely
go to
love it. That's
hell.
like one of my favorite.
You
Yeah.
literally go to hell in the ride. That's
Yes.
pretty dark.
there are definitely things that are traditionally Halloween when it comes to a movie, but I think anything that is associated with what is part of Halloween, vampires, werewolves, whatever, I will watch underworld movies all year round. But and then I save things like Ichabod and stuff like that for. See, you have the dog and I have the cats. We're just they all have to come in and say hi. Hi, baby girl. Oh, so sweet. Oh, sweet babies. Look at that cute face. Oh, smile. Give mommy kisses. Sorry. Anyway, so that's basically all I have for
Get down.
the costumes. Right now,
Thank you.
I don't know. Like, I feel like when it's Halloween now, and it could be just because of cosplaying, I try to keep it very simple and traditional,
Yeah.
right? So maybe next year when we're doing the podcast for Halloween, maybe I'll make the creepy ass early 1900s masks
Yes, the paper
and then just put
mache.
my microphone inside so that
Have a little
I
door.
can wear that. Yeah, huh?
Have a little
The
door,
zipper
like a little meow.
Yeah, or a door,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things where the tradition has just kind of we're on a
Yeah. We've
downward,
lost the
we're on
origins.
it. We need to get back to the uptick, but you
Yeah.
know what? Everything is in such disarray and I mean, look, we're literally in our own personal hells right now without
Yeah.
going into too much detail.
Yeah.
So,
It's just
you know,
unfortunate. I
it
think we need to go back to that really simpler time
I
where
don't need
we, harken back to the days of when holidays kind of were a little bit closer to what they were meant to be versus cash grabs because all these companies are like, okay, now we're gonna have Jurassic
exactly.
Park. 18 costumes from Jurassic Park are now available. You can be the Jeep if you want to, and like, it's like, but that's not what
I
it's
mean, I would be the Jeep
about.
though.
I know it's
I would
funny
be the
and
Jeep.
100%, but also like I feel like that's like costume party or like kids party
Yes,
fun, but Halloween night. I feel like we should go back to those like
I
mummies
agree.
and vampires and
We need to
witches and
pay
like,
homage to
yeah.
I'm just gonna say our ancestors, you know.
Okay. Question though, on your
Yes.
topic. So, what were some of your favorite childhood costumes growing up? Because I can think of two for me. I
Well,
can I have pictures too. Not with me, but I do have pictures. Can you think of any that were like really stand out in your mind that you were excited about?
there was one, like I would make my own costumes even as a child.
Okay.
Um so I have two and I didn't make this one because I was too young. This one was too difficult, but it almost felt like it was made out of it wasn't felt because it had to be sturdy material, but it kind of felt like it.
Okay.
And it was a dragon and it had
That's
wire in the tail.
cute. Do you have
I was
pictures?
literally, I don't know if anybody has the pictures.
That sounds so
I
cute. A
was,
dragon.
I think I was in fifth grade, maybe
Oh,
at most,
that's
at
so
most. No, it
cute.
had to be less than that. Um, but I was a literal actual sized child dragon.
That is adorable.
And it was so cute. Almost it gave T-Rex vibes,
Okay.
but it was a dragon because he had a dragon face, but the T-Rex body. Because you still have to move around,
Yeah.
right? So you're not going to have four big old legs or I mean, it
Yeah.
depends on what you think a dragon is. There's so many renditions, but
There,
my
there's
dragon is doesn't have a
dragons,
T-Rex body.
wyverns. There's so many.
Yes, exactly.
Drakes.
So that was one of them.
Okay.
And
I
then
love that, by
another
the way.
year, it was, I want to say it might have been my junior year, sophomore year of high school. We weren't planning, none of us were planning on going out.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I need to have something. And so I somehow put together, I, I made a fake body like I was carrying around a dead body on my back. So it was almost like a backpack. And he just had these, I made fake arms, and then my arms were his, like he was
Oh,
wrapping it
okay.
around me and
Yeah.
stuff. But it was just, I grabbed whatever Halloween decorations we had, slapped it all together with duct tape and whatever, and we just ran around the streets at night. I think I may allegedly have taken two city cones,
You would never. That
allegedly.
no. That would never happened.
So technically, allegedly, it wasn't me that took them, but they wound up at, like, I was with,
You
allegedly, the
you
people who
were
did it. And
supposedly
then
an
they
accomplice.
allegedly stayed at my abode.
Hmm.
Allegedly.
Supposedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, I
Maybe.
think isn't there like it's probably well past the time where
Oh,
anything could
statute of
happen. But
limitations.
yeah, I think there's a statute of limitations, so we're good.
Probably.
Um, but yeah, those I'd probably say those are my two that I remember the most, but you also have
Yeah.
to remember I did theater and musical theater as
Oh
well, so
yeah.
I was constantly all year round dressed
Costume
up
and
as something.
well,
One of
yeah.
the other ones I did make was I was the lead in Little Abner. So I played Daisy May and I had to wear this little polka dot crop top kind of thing. And I had to make the little skirt and walk around and barefoot, which I hated doing because
Oh
the
yeah.
theater, the stage floor was so gross.
I bet.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, look, you just got shit all over the place. You're dragging it in, whatever.
It's fine.
But yeah, yeah.
That's so cute. I love that
Oh,
for you.
thanks.
Uh,
Thank you.
Also, for everyone else watching this, if you'd like to comment down below what your favorite childhood costume is, I would love to see, just so we can get like a general consensus of what was everyone dressing as. For me, I remember I had one year where I was like, I think it was when I was maybe in kindergarten, I was like a ballerina, just your pink leotard and a tutu. That one I
Oh
vaguely
yeah.
remember, but I remember really loving two specifically. I think I was around first or second grade. I was a tiger, and it was one of those cloth costumes that had the little headpiece that ties under your chin, and the
Yep.
eyes and the mouth were on top of the head with the ears.
Yep.
Yep, I was a little
Mm-hmm.
tiger, and there's a picture of me wearing that, and I had a stuffed animal I used to carry everywhere when I was a kid. It was
Aw.
one of the Dalmatians from 101 Dalmatians, Penny. I still have her. She's in the garage right now. She used to be in this room. Still have her to this day, along with another one. But the other one that I really remember was probably around somewhere between fourth and fifth grade, I think. My mom was like, "Oh, what are we gonna dress you as?" And I was like, "I don't know." And we came up with she had like a wedding dress, and I don't know if it was hers or someone else's from like the family that happened to fit me. And she took like black lipstick and eyeliner. I think it was just eyeliner actually. And she did black around my eyes and black lips. So I had like, you know, very like dead looking, and then she used baby powder all over my face because this was back before you really had access easily, or if we didn't have the money to like the white face paint, so she just used a
Yeah.
crap ton of baby powder to make me look like a dead bride. Like, think
I love it.
corpse bride before corpse bride, but really really at home done. Like, she put baby powder in my hair to make it look like, you know, dusty and aged,
Oh yeah.
and there was
No,
even the
I love
veil.
that.
Yeah, and then I had got to walk in the what was it? You know when they would do the little parades, the elementary school
Oh, we did
parades.
all, yeah, Halloween parades.
Yep,
That was the tough one to walk in with as the dragon.
I
That was
bet. I bet. But I was just in
I'm surprised I
my
didn't face
corpse
plant it.
bride, and I have pictures of that one too. I know somewhere, and I really like, yeah. Those two are the probably the two that really stick out in my mind as ones that I will forever like remember and appreciate. Especially the, like, my mom put so much effort into making me like a dead bride, and I just, it's a nice memory. And as you know, as with
Yeah.
shitty childhoods, you cling to those nice memories
Hmm.
so hard. So I was just like,
Yeah, I
I like
mean,
that one.
I'm sure that this was you as well because, we didn't have money. And then, of course,
Yeah.
when parents get divorced
Mm-hmm.
and they're not, you're not getting the assistance that you're supposed to be getting. That makes things a
Yep.
little more difficult as well. So again, I was constantly making costumes. I totally forgot. I also did Eric Draven from The Crow because all you need is
You've told
black
me about that.
clothes.
Yeah. I remember you doing
And
that.
I found someone had a black trench coat. So I just wore, and I always wore black. So don't be surprised. It's my
What?
color. Um, and because I did theater, I did have access to
Oh, the
the
makeup
white paint. Yeah,
makes things
makeup.
easier.
And then yeah, it did because then I didn't have to like make a paste out of the baby powder, and that probably
Yeah.
would have
Oh, it feels
killed me
awful.
anyway.
It feels
It
awful.
really does, but we had to do mime stuff too, and I hate mimes. They're just so dumb, but whatever. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah, so I did my version of the crow,
I love
and
that.
I mean, all you really need is black clothing, electrical tape, and then the makeup, and it's really
Yeah.
just black and white face paint. So it's not like you're doing that much
Well,
with it.
and a black wig if you don't
Um,
have black hair, or the spray, but I don't like the
yeah.
spray.
Yeah, I kept my hair normal. I just made it look kind of nasty, you
Yeah.
know.
Get it wet. Use
Added
that
some,
baby
yeah,
oil.
I took my black lipstick
Mm.
and I just kind of painted my hands and then just kind of
That
threw it in there
works.
with it. Yeah, just to make it look kind of grungy,
Yeah.
right? Because yeah, I just didn't have a time to make a crow. Probably would have.
You just grab one
It
off
would
the
have looked
street.
bad.
This is my friend now.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, like they talked to me, so I
You never
probably could
know.
have,
Maybe.
made friends with them. Just chill on my shoulder.
I
But
actually
yeah.
I got some funny Halloween stories recently, and one of them
Ooh.
I was cracking up on. I was just unhinged. Um, so I'll tell there's a really short one. My mom, one year when she was a kid, was Tweety Bird. Hi, mom. She's our number one fan. Courtesy of
Aw.
Misery, we keep
Hi,
making the
Mom.
joke. Number one fan. I'm your number one fan. She was Tweety Bird one year as a kid, and she went to go knock on a door, and apparently they had just painted the door, which seems like the worst time to paint the door, but they painted it red. So she just looked like a bloody Tweety Bird for the rest of the night.
Oh, that is amazing.
She was just a
I
little
mean,
bloody
not for her
Tweety.
at the time because she was just a child,
Yeah.
but just,
Yeah.
Tweety Bird carnage.
I
Oh
know,
my
right?
God.
Murked
Who,
Tweety. Who paints their door
where
the
did this
day of?
happen? Who the fuck does
That
that?
was like that might have been like Redondo Beach when she was living out there, or she'd have to confirm that. But the other one was so
Dumbasses.
I think it was back when it was just my mom and her two brothers. She had an older brother and a younger brother at that point. She was squarely in the middle, and they were going trick or treating with my grandpa. I don't know if my grandma was there, but my they would go up to a house and they would get candy, and then afterward my grandpa would be like, "What did you get?" And they'd look in their bags and they'd say what they got. Well, the whole walk to each door, my grandpa was, God rest his soul. We just lost him, and this is such an like remembrance for me of him, and it's so
Hmm.
nice. This man was picking up rocks and dropping them in my oldest uncle's candy bag as they were walking door to door. And every time he'd be like, "Okay, what'd you guys get?" After each time, he'd look and he'd go, "Got a rock." And then they'd go to the next one. And, he'd be like, "All right, what'd you guys get?" They gave me another rock. So he thought he was just getting rocks. That every
I love
person,
that
every
so
place they were
much.
going to, he was just getting rocks. And my grandpa's just next door. He'd drop another one in as they're walking. And what'd you get? They got another rock. And they had I don't know how he had no idea, but yeah, he just had a fucking bag full of, I mean,
I
there
mean,
was
when you're
candy.
young, though, you don't,
It,
yeah, you just don't pay attention to those things.
it
You're
was
just
just,
thinking, oh, candy.
it's just so funny
But
that
you
every
think when you say trick
time.
or treat, you put
Yeah.
out your bag. So you'd think, you'd see it, but maybe they're just looking up at the person.
I
Who
guess. I
knows?
don't, and the thing
I
is,
love it
you would
though.
think he would feel it every time my grandpa was dropping one in, and I don't know how he was holding it in a way that like my grandpa was able to do this so consistently, but the fact that he just was getting pure pleasure out of just fucking with my uncle by just dropping rocks in his bag and
Oh,
what'd
it's
you get?
brilliant.
I got another rock. And he was the only one.
You're
It wasn't happening to his younger brother or my mom. So he was just like,
no.
why am I getting rocks? Best Halloween spirit, like as far as like there's a trick with your treat. And
Yeah.
I just having that story being told to me on a time when it's supposed to be, when the veil is the thinnest and we're remembering our beloved family members and, friends, and having that
Mm-hmm.
just feels very like special to me. So I wanted to share that because it just made
Aw.
me laugh, and I
Oh,
felt
it's such a great
it's
story.
such in the spirit of Halloween. It's because it's a prank, but it's like a harmless prank. He didn't take
Right,
candy
because it's
from
not like
him.
yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
take the candy. It's just
he was
your
adding.
grandfather sounds like my Uncle Marty. So he was my great uncle, my grandfather's uncle. Wait, yeah, sorry, I had to do them
the
my mom's uncle.
family tree.
Sorry, had to do yeah. Um and it was my grandmother's brother
Yeah, so like your
on
great
my
uncle,
great grandmother's uncle. Sorry, Jesus. Oh my God.
great
I'm
great
trying to
uncle,
do the
great grand
I'm
uncle.
trying to do the math. So
It's very
my
confusing.
mom's dad, I
Hmm.
know. My mom's dad, it was his mom's brother. So his uncle. Sorry. I had to
So it'd
say
be
it out.
your great grand uncle, I think.
Yes. I think that's what it is. Anyway, whatever, he's
Stroking out.
related to me. So he he was just it's hard to explain him because he was such a character, a comedian, and he was also an opera singer, funny
Oh,
enough. And he would go travel to Germany a lot. He would perform in Germany, always bring back cuckoo clocks, although don't have one. Don't know how that happened, but
time to fight somebody.
um yeah, but I'll get one eventually. And it was
Someone's gonna
just
die, and I'm taking it.
he would always pick on my brother. And my brother's younger than me by like what, 4.5 years, 4-ish years. And he would just poke my brother. And my brother would just stop. Like but he just got such a kick out of it. He would laugh so hard to tears. And
That's
it just sounds like something he would have done to my brother. And so I just find we all have one in the
oh
family
yeah,
where
for sure.
they're just the jokester.
Just
And
pulling little harmless
yeah.
pranks. I
Yeah.
love that.
Nothing that like it was never anything like no bullying, nothing like that. It was
Yeah.
just all in good
Oh
fun. It was
yeah.
very cute. Yeah.
I love that.
So,
In the spirit of Halloween especially, because I feel like also like trick or treat, like I was never a fan of like toilet papering, because like that's, if it gets wet, that's a whole mess.
yeah,
And
but you're
like
also just wasting toilet paper. I don't know.
exactly,
Maybe
like
it's just because
post COVID
like
life, we're
I'm
like
like
wasting toilet paper. Horrors.
I
That's
know.
scary. That is scary.
True.
But
Very true.
yeah, I just felt like that is such an adorable little like prank, and it was nice.
Yeah, that's super cute. I love that. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Um, I have some updates on a couple things. They're very small updates.
Okay.
The Emmanuel Harrow case, which we discussed a couple weeks ago, um,
Right.
the father has allegedly pled guilty. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what the story is that he is giving at this point. Not that we can really trust anything he says, because there has been so much back and forth, as we've discussed previously. But he has officially pled guilty. Um, we'll have more information on when they're going to try him and what his alleged story is. Um, who knows if it's going to be the truth or not, but that is a little mini update on that. And then also there was something, I don't know if you saw, about the David case. and
Right.
how he changed his property or ownership of his house to his mother.
Yes. And they got swatted too, which was, I think, did the swatting happen just before? I think it happened just after, but the parents got swatted,
Hmm.
which was pretty crazy. I think they live in Texas,
Possibly.
I think. But yeah, all of that started going down. There's actually a lot more that's come with that as well. I don't know if you heard recently, but I think it was the owner of the home hired a private investigator to
Oh.
try to get more information because the cops are being extremely hush hush. I
Yeah.
mean, this is his home.
Yeah.
There's things that have not been released to him. They're not
Hmm.
being, I mean, I understand you can't really speak on a lot of things, especially if it's an open investigation,
Yeah.
but the, and we can go into more detail about this later because I'm sure more will come out within the upcoming
For
days and
sure.
whatnot.
For sure.
But he found out some very interesting information and can't really go into detail with it.
Hmm.
But it's more of how long the body was in there. They found footage, camera footage of when the vehicle moved, but I don't think that there's any footage of who was in the car. I believe he mentioned
Oh, like it
he
leaving
didn't
the property before it was found? Like, as in the last time it
leaving,
left?
yes.
Okay.
And so they think
Interesting.
it's more of like allegedly you can see the back of someone getting into the car. Like, I don't know if you're
Okay.
seeing someone putting the body into, thank you.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure
Um,
they could argue anybody could have put the body in, and it doesn't mean the person who drove
exactly.
it last is the one who did it. And it's like, I mean, yes,
Exactly.
but
But
like,
yeah, but the private eye does have more detailed information and again does not go into extreme detail, but
hmm,
actually has provided more than the police have provided. So there is video of certain
interesting.
things, but how much is actually seen in the video remains
Hmm.
to be seen at this time because we obviously don't have it.
Yeah.
You also can't screw up an investigation, so you can't really
Gotta stay hush hush. There's only
provide
so
that
much.
information.
Yeah.
I wonder what a private investigator can and cannot disclose, especially if it's an open investigation, if they find the information out themselves. I think morally wise, they're not going to
Yeah.
say anything, but
Like their
I don't
integrity of it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Hmm.
don't know what charges could potentially be faced
Tampering
should
with a
you
case,
speak
maybe?
about maybe,
Could be.
but you're not taking evidence from the cops. It's stuff that you have found. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, obviously it's a morally fine line that you
Hmm.
would cross. Um, I mean, it's not a fine line. You're going to hell in a slip and slide down that thing if you
Oh, yeah.
decide to give out that information and then fuck it up for whoever, did what they did. But again, I just thought it was very interesting. But to go into detail, I can get more information on that. I'll
Yeah.
also send you the video link of the interview that he did with one of the long crime videos.
Okay.
So I think you'll find it interesting.
Oh, for sure.
And of course,
For sure.
everybody's talking about it, trying to give updates. I'm trying not to beat a dead horse at this point with
Yeah.
constantly talking about the same ones, but I kind of want to wait until we have a lot of information to then go and talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Not only that, but like
I,
giving like key updates. Like there has been
mhm.
updates.
Yeah, everything's kind of been hush hush. There's still
Hmm.
no arrests. Another piece of information, though, that I thought was interesting is that during some point, which was either very close or during the time that all of this happened, David took the Tesla out of his name and got a new red Tesla. So there was another vehicle that
Interesting.
he had gotten at some point very close or within that time frame. Again, I don't have key details. This is just something else that had popped up.
But
But
very
again,
suspicious.
Yeah. It's like it's super sus. So you're like,
Mm,
what's going on here? So
interesting.
again, don't want to just start throwing out false information because we've seen what happens time and time
Yeah.
again, but these are just some things that have popped up. Once we get like clear, substantial information, then I think we should go in and talk about those again. But
Yeah.
back to the Harrow case. The mom's still claiming not guilty, right?
I believe so, yes.
Did you see any? Yeah, because I didn't see anything change. She's sticking to her guns on that
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yeah.
And I'm
She's been
like,
pretty straightforward about
girl,
it. But
girl,
I
come
feel
on
like
now.
with her, even if she's like, I didn't directly do anything, staying with him after what happened to the first
Oh,
kid,
she's still, yeah,
you knew. You knew what he was capable of and what he has done. If you thought he was going to do anything different, you're delusional or you didn't care. That's what it breaks down
I
to.
agree. I was not laughing to what you
Hey,
were saying. I was like, what the
she throws things. She thinks it's funny.
chaos?
Yeah, hi.
Chaos.
Hello.
Um,
Thank you. Can I have
but
that?
yeah, it's
She
one of those
she
things where
brought me
it's
a
just
bone.
a very, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, is it like a, I know it's not technically Munchausen's, but is it that type of situation? Is it a domestic
Mm,
violence thing where I don't think there's an excuse, no matter what, you put your body before that child kind of thing.
weren't
But
they
it
also
also
both
depends
drug
on the
addicts?
situations. What?
Weren't they both also drug addicts?
I don't remember if she was. I really don't. I've
Because
kind of pushed what can you use and as excuse
yeah, no,
to justify your actions
not so
out of
much
the way. So
an
I they could have been.
excuse,
I just don't remember.
but like I think it's just like
Yeah.
a factor of things of like, yeah, obviously they don't make good choices to begin with, you know?
Yeah. Like I would say, okay, you could potentially have mental health issues, but you still know right from wrong.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I would
Like
agree.
unless if you are completely, you know, having a schizophrenic episode, like
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of things where I know people who have very manic type of things where they, I mean, sometimes even forget what the hell's happening.
They black
Thank
out.
God for medication.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of things that, could potentially be assistance in what has occurred, but I try to block all those out because I'm just like, no, you're still an adult, you know right from wrong, unless if you are written that there is, you have been diagnosed with XYZ,
Yeah,
then okay. But
I
yeah,
agree.
no, but I think you're right though.
So I don't know. We'll
So
see. And then there is real quick. I don't know if you heard. I feel I've been hearing myself in the background, and I don't know if it's coming out of your headset or if it's. So I'm gonna pull this away. If I'm too quiet, I'm sorry, you guys. I just don't want to be.
I'm not hearing an echo if that makes you feel better.
Okay. Well, that then it's probably
So
I don't know.
I don't
Okay.
know. And I can also,
We'll find out when we
um,
watch this back later. But yeah.
I can also
Yeah.
get the echo out, so don't worry about
Oh,
it.
you can. Okay.
I'll,
Cool.
I'll fix it. Yeah, I have a
Cool.
cleanup. So
So I don't know if you saw, but remember a little while ago I was gonna go up to Oakland. I was gonna go apple. I was gonna go to the apple orchard.
the apples.
But they had that big mudslide, right? I am coming
Right.
through
Yes, I
twice on
remember
my
that.
side. So basically, I was gonna go to the apple orchard. They had that huge mudslide because we had that tropical storm. During that time, obviously, a lot of lives lost. It was very unfortunate. One of them being there was a guy who was in his car. He was coming back from his like grandmother's funeral, I believe, with his 2-year-old son. They tried to cross the street. Water was too high. The car started getting pushed off the road. He decided to get out of the car with his son, and the flood got really bad, and he was separated from the son. They didn't find him until the son until the next day. They found him dead. They are
Oh,
now charging him with murder.
the dad?
Yes.
Because he lost his child during the mudslide.
So allegedly there are witnesses. I don't know what those witnesses are saying, because short of him just yeeting the kid out the window, I don't really know I mean, there's from what I understood, the charges were like negligence, and it is
Like a negligent homicide or
vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, and child abuse under
okay.
circumstances of condition likely to cause great bodily injury and death. Here's what's hard on that. Maybe to say he did it on purpose, I don't know. Obviously, he made a bad choice, but putting yourself into that scenario, you've got your child with you, you're scared for your life, your car is being pushed by a large body of water.
And
He made
mud.
Yeah, he made a bad choice, but like a lot of people don't know what to do in those situations, and he thought at the time that getting out of the vehicle was the best option. He didn't there How do you know that the current's going to get stronger and separate you from your kid? Now, I'm not saying that maybe he I don't know. To me, it's like, yeah, it was a bad call, but there's people who make bad calls all the time, and I could be wrong. Maybe the witnesses saw him yeet the baby into the water. I don't know. I hope
Yeah.
that's not the case.
It's
But
no.
there are people that make bad judgment calls with their kids all the time and who aren't charged. Perfect example. How many times have we seen parents walking their kids up to bison to pet them in Yellowstone, and the kids
Yeah.
get tossed in the air 6 feet?
Uh-huh.
Do they get arrested for putting their child in danger?
I
No.
mean, they should.
Have you seen
They
that
should for
video?
sure.
The guy
Yeah, oh
puts
yeah,
his
I've
daughter.
seen
Well, no,
multiple
but
people
like
and children yeeted.
the guy puts his kid next, like on a, it's on a pier, and there's a seal, and the seal grabs the kid and pulls it into the ocean.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did that guy get arrested and charged for, attempted manslaughter? Like, I understand, but like that guy, one, had already lost his grandmother and was coming home from a funeral. Two, assuming this again was just a bad judgment call, to be tried for that when people like what is it, the oh god, was it Lacey Peterson? No, the other one, the one who killed her daughter, and
Oh
she was
yeah.
found in the suitcase, and then like didn't she get found to be
Yeah.
like innocent or some shit? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah.
she's innocent
Uh-huh.
but we're charging this, like it just make sense. It doesn't.
Right. And I completely agree with you. And here's the thing about bad judgment calls. When it comes to mudslides and things like that, if your vehicle is being pushed even sideways by mud and liquid, the car could potentially flip. You could drown in the car.
Yeah.
So, and again, we don't know what the witnesses actually saw,
Or what they told the cops.
but also you have to think about it this way. This man has to live with the fact that he made a bad judgment call and his child is dead.
Yeah. Like again,
I
maybe the witnesses
that's
saw
the
something
worst.
where it was intentional.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
not a possibility, but what I am saying is if that isn't the case, charging him
Then
for
fuck you.
that is
Like, how
that is
dare you?
so brutal, because yeah, that's something he's gonna blame himself for the rest of his life, undoubtedly.
And here's the thing, the DA may not go through with it, or if they bring it up in front of a grand jury, they may not take it to trial because they're like, this is fucking bullshit. But it
Yeah.
all depends on, excuse me, quote, evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And also with witness testimony, how valid is that? But why would people actually say that he did these things if there wasn't some form of truth to it? So
Yeah.
it could just be that they thought it was a bad judgment call and this is why it looked that way. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, it's
It
there's
could
a lot
also
of
be
things.
that they were like, "Oh, don't get out of the car," and he did, and they're like, "We told him not to," but at the same time, I'm sorry if I'm in the car and and I think it's my only way of surviving. I don't give a fuck.
Mm,
Some stranger on the street is yelling at whatever at me. I don't give a fuck. I don't know you, and who's to say you know any better? There's no way to know,
right.
because in those situations, like
People give bad advice all the time.
that, and it's not like living in Tornado Alley where you live there, you experience it frequently,
Hmm.
you know what to do. Out here, we don't
Right.
experience that kind of situation that frequently. So it's possible
Mm-mm.
never in his life has he ever experienced that. And he made the best judgment call with the information he had.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't the right one, but like, you panic. You're in a life threatening situation. You've got your kid. You're freaking out. You're not thinking straight. You're on survival mode. So again, either they saw something where it was super intentional, or he's being blamed for something that is just he made a really bad call based on the limited information he had, and it's really
Right.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Man,
So,
that sucks.
right? I saw that and I
Poor
was like,
guy.
wow, that's brutal. And again, we could find out in a week or two that there's testimony from multiple people that he was like I said, just chuck the baby. Who knows? But,
Yeah.
and if that's the
Or
case,
someone comes out and says he hated his baby.
yeah, if
I
that's the
do.
case, then, that's a different story entirely. But given the information, the limited information we have right now and the hypotheticals of it all, really fucked up situation.
I agree. Man. Fuck, that sucks.
Had to bring a little true crime in because that's what we do. We always talk a little bit about
Right.
something going on. So I just want to get those updates in and talk about that briefly because it's obviously not something that's like a very long, heavy, and drawn out case, but it is something that I was like, that's intense. So to wrap this
Man.
up, do you have any exciting plans for Halloween night or day?
No, actually. Not, I mean, no. I'm supposed to go help pass out some treats,
Soul
but
cakes.
yeah, like we don't get kids around here,
Mm-hmm.
even though we're close to the high school. Don't get many trick-or-treaters.
That's unfortunate.
So I'm also on a second story.
Yeah, apartment
People don't really want to
buildings.
go into Cartman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't really
So
like that. I grew up in
no.
apartment buildings. I
So
get it.
yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, that's not gonna help. So my friend is doing something, but I don't know what the hell's going on. So many
Mm,
different changes. There may be a chance that Boo has to fly out that day as
okay,
well. So I have to find out and see what schedule changes are happening.
gotcha.
So I may have to kind of bail out on that, but we'll see. I
Yeah.
don't like to bail out on
No, I
plans that I've made,
know.
but if I give people enough notice, I feel like if we can make it happen,
All
we'll
week
make it
we've been
happen. But
bailing out. What are you
also,
talking
if I'm
about?
the only person's drive to the airport, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I could go back, but you also know, I don't know what's been happening, but every time the flight is to Northern California,
Hmm.
there's always almost an hour delay.
It's not just that. It's been happening to Travis. He had it just when he was flying out to Illinois yesterday,
It's
and the last time
so
before
like
that.
because
Well, they're not getting paid
we
right
were
now,
separated.
so they're really fucked
Yeah,
now.
true. But he was up in NorCal. I'm in SoCal. We're meeting in Vegas when we did our trip to Vegas.
Hmm.
And I I could have gone to the hotel, but I decided to gamble in the airport. His flight was an hour and a half late. Mine was 20 minutes at most,
Yeah.
and we still the the um the pilot was like, "Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna make up time for you, but you're not getting a drink on the plane. So you're just gonna have to wait." And I have a funny story. It's kind of gross, but we can talk about that another time.
Okay.
Airplane mishaps,
Oh
maybe.
dear. Oh
But someone
dear.
had too much drink prior
Oh dear.
to the flight.
Well,
So that's
that
why our flight
happens.
was delayed. So, but more about that later. We'll leave you on a cliffhanger.
Ooh. I think I'm just gonna do passing out candy and watching. Well, I don't want to do because if I'm passing out candy, I'm gonna have to get up and go out a lot. So I kind of want to watch scary movies, but also it's kind of hard if you have to keep pausing it. So I don't know what.
I would say put on something that you're okay with getting up and down
Yeah, something I've seen
around
a lot. Yeah.
during the trick-or-treaty time,
Mm-hmm.
and then turn off your lights so no one comes to bug you,
Yeah.
and then watch scaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been
Then
watching
watch
scary
the
movies
spooks.
all month. Like I've got a huge container that's filled with little papers, and we pick out which one we're gonna watch next. And I've been adding to my collection of DVDs. I bought the entire series of the Munsters and the Addams Family,
Oh,
the OG like TV shows. Um,
oh, yay.
and then I got a bunch of like Walmart does these really good bundle deals on DVDs, especially around Halloween. I got 7 of the Chucky films for like $20, and I like them because it's a smaller footprint, right? Instead of having 7 movie cases, it's just like the
Right.
size of one or two. Um,
Yeah. It doesn't
so
take because it's all in the yeah.
yeah, it's so nice. It's so nice. I got 8 shark movies. It's called the Shark Attack Collection, and it has 3 Deep Blue Sea movies. I didn't know there was 3. I only knew about the first one, which I love the first one. I think it's such a
Oh,
great
I
like
only knew
horror film.
two. There's a third one?
There's a third one, and then there's 2
Oh, I'm
Meg
gonna have to watch it.
movies, and then the 3 Jaws movies. So like that was a great addition because I was like classic,
Nice.
fantastic.
No
But
Sharknado?
no Sharknado, no. But 3 Deep Blue Seas, which I'm like, the other 2 aren't going to be as good
And
as the
Megs.
first. The first one
Yeah.
is so good that I'm like, there's no
Oh
way they
yeah.
can live up. But we'll see.
I don't remember. It's been a while. I don't remember it being like amazing, but don't hold me to that because again, it's been far too long.
I love a
But
good
you know
bad
what might
movie
be,
though.
yeah. Oh no, I love a good bad movie too. What might be fun to talk about because you did get the Munsters and the Addams family,
Hmm.
they're all primarily black and white.
Hmm.
It's have you ever
Oh, seen them in
looked
color,
into
the
in
sets?
color? Yes.
Yes, yes. Everything's pink. Everything's pink.
It's all the colors are just super crazy
It's
because it's how will
wild.
it balance in a grayscale. So it's
Yeah.
really cool to see that.
It's the
Like
same
it's
with the
definitely fun
makeup
to.
too. If you look at
Yep.
like the early like 1920s, 1930s when they would do their makeup, it was
Yep.
actually blue and like a green lipstick and things like that because
Yep.
of the way the chroma would read in the black and white to give
Yep.
different depth. So yeah, it's the same thing with those sets, and yeah, if you want, you can put a
Yeah,
picture.
nobody talks about that
It's
stuff, but yeah,
crazy to
we'll
see.
put in some we'll put in some stuff in there because it's really great. Like it's just interesting
Oh yeah.
to think of what you had to do before you had, you know, 4K UHD,
Mm-hmm.
Blu-ray, things like that.
Yeah.
You actually had to like super hyper colors, things like that. You had to really prep for that stuff to
Yeah.
make sure the people didn't look washed out. Things stood out where they needed to stand out, you know? So very interesting. Yeah.
I love that, and I'm so excited. I actually watched the first episode, not the pilot, I don't think, but the first episode of The Monsters the other day because I did watch the Rob Zombie Monsters movie.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not good. I'm sorry. It's like it's I get that they were trying to be extra campy with it. It just didn't fit the vibe of what I knew from the TV show. Not that I've seen like
Right.
every episode, but
They try
everything that
too
I
hard.
watched, it was over the top. It was very over the
Hmm.
top. They made
Yeah, they
Herman
try
seem
too
like a
hard.
moron, whereas like I felt like in the show he was not a moron. And so it was just that, and
He
I
was a
don't
little burpy, but he
yeah.
wasn't a complete moron. Yeah, I
It
get what
was
you
like
mean.
the 1950s comedy style of like you know kind of like just the way they would joke. It was very like endearing and naive, not
Hmm.
stupid. And yeah, they were just
Right.
making him really dumb, and that was bothersome to me. And then also, what's her face? Was it Sherry playing Lillian? I don't know
Mm.
what she was doing, but it was so campy and over the top that for me it just didn't work, and I was not enjoying it. And I was just like her just like constantly and just like it was just weird and uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
it wasn't for me. Sorry.
I think I may have only gotten halfway through it.
Don't go back and watch it. It's
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm one of those people where if I won't force myself to watch it if it's really annoying the piss out of me.
yeah,
So,
I get
and
it.
that was one I'm almost positive that I did not finish. Like I knew what happened and things
Yeah.
like that, but I was like, well, it's not worth to see the end that I already know. Whereas there have been other movies where
Yeah.
even though I know the ending, I I still finish it,
Yeah.
you know? And sometimes, yeah, they're a little bad and sometimes they get better. And I mean, like Halo.
Mm.
Do you think? Hell, I tried to go back. I wanted to watch season two just because it was supposed to be the fall of Reach, and I could.
They changed too much. They really just said, fuck it. I'm going to tell you, for anyone watching, if you want to watch a faithful and well done Halo series, Forward Unto Dawn. It was like a mini series, I
Yep.
think. Forward Unto
Yep.
Dawn is
One of my
the
favorites.
best fucking representation in film outside of was it Halo Legends, which is an anthology, kind of like oh, they did, what is it? There was a similar style of anthology, but like every episode is a different story, and it's done by a different team with the different, like some of them are animated.
Oh, they
some of
did
them are
that for the
CG.
Matrix.
Well, they also did it for, there was obviously Love, Death, and
And
Robots, but there was also a video game version they did on Prime, and it's not like Ready Player One, but it's like,
no, I know what you're talking
yeah,
about. It's
that one's also really good. I highly recommend that.
why
But
can't I think of what the hell it is?
if you're looking for accurate Halo, like in media, like to watch, Forward Unto Dawn and Halo Legends are like top tier. Nothing else compares. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, it's again, we'll have a podcast that dives into our anger
Our
of
rage, feminine
just
rage.
it's our yeah, our unhinged outrage possibly on just how they shit on the things we love,
Everything. Yeah, maybe
you
that'll be
know.
our next podcast. Is just the feminine geek
Us
rage.
shitting on them, shitting
Us
on
shitting.
us.
It's just us shitting.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that just went somewhere.
Oh, I hate
Wow.
it here. All right. That being
Oh,
said, I guess we have a plan for next week. Not the shitting part. No, there's not going to be any shitting, please.
I mean, but everybody poops. So,
Everybody poops sometimes. Uh, no, we'll probably do some more pop culture, a little less true crime for the next episode. We'll talk about all the things that make us mad. It's just gonna be the rage bait episode. So
yeah, why not? I'm good with that.
thanks for joining us on this Halloween adventure. I hope it enlightened some of you, and if you learned something new, fantastic. If you have something to add that maybe we didn't talk about, Halloween and its origins, then please share below in the comments, and we'll catch you next time. And
Like, share, subscribe,
all
you
of that.
spooky peeps.
Thank you so much, you guys. Happy Halloween!
Bye.